In today's video, we're going to do a quick tutorial on how to connect an EG4 lithium iron phosphate battery to a Growatt all-in-one inverter charger through RS485 communication protocol. And what this will allow us to do is to control this battery's cycling bandwidth or its depth of discharge through parameters that we set on the inverter charger. And this will allow you to milk out the cycle life count of these batteries. You can actually get 7,000 cycles with this battery if you do a depth of discharge of 80%. So that means cycling down to 20% and then back up to 100%. And this whole process is very simple. All you need is an Ethernet cable to connect your battery to the all-in-one system. And this step intimidates a lot of people, and I promise you it's a lot easier than you think. So let's get started. So first, on the front of the battery, we have two RS485 ports. And it comes with a small Ethernet cable, so you can plug this into one port and then the other one into the other battery. But unfortunately, I don't have a second battery, but if there was a second battery down here, I would plug this into its RS485 port and then daisy chain multiple other batteries if I wanted to. Now this is a longer Ethernet cable to connect to the all-in-one system, so we're going to plug it in right here, and then we're going to run this cable over to the Growatt inverter. Now on the inverter, it shows RS485, so plug it into here. Now before we connect power, we need to ensure that the inverter knows that this is the main battery. This is like the master battery that controls the communication between all the other packs connected to it. And every battery has a DIP switch, and you can change each other identifier to whatever you want, but the master battery has to have a specific code so that this will actually work with it. And this is very easy to do, so you just need to slide these DIP switches all the way down, and then on the last one, 4, you want to slide this one up, just like that. And the other batteries can be whatever code or identifier you wish to have, but the master battery has to have this configuration. Now we can actually supply this inverter charger with power and change the settings. And be sure to connect the conductors to the inverter charger first and then to the battery second. And this battery has a pre-charge resistor, so you can hook it right up. If it did not, then you'd have to use your own pre-charge resistor. But it is a good idea to turn this off while you're connecting it. Now that everything's connected, we can turn on the battery and then turn on the Growatt inverter. Now the final step is changing the settings on the Growatt inverter. So first hold down the enter button, and for the first setting we want SBU, so solar battery then utility, and then press down. And then under setting number 5 we want to change this to lithium battery. This is the most important setting when setting up this communication protocol. So it says AGM right now. We want to change this by pressing enter and then change it to lithium, and it will be LI, and then press enter. And then the screen will change and you'll have two different setting options. So 36 is the protocol you want, and then under L00 you want to change this to L01. Just like that, and then press enter. So we have L01 and 036. Press enter and then you should be good to go. And then press escape to get out of this menu. And look at that, so it's actually connected right now. And right now we have an error code because this battery I'm using is at a very low state of charge. So let's change the settings and see if we can actually turn it back on again. So first hold down the enter button. And this is the problem. So under option number 12, it says to turn off the inverter at 50% state of charge. This is the setting you change for what you want this battery to discharge down to. So for this pack, we're going to charge down to 10%. You can charge down to 20% and then you'll get that 7,000 charge cycle life count. And then press enter. Now under the next setting, which is setting number 13, you can change what this battery wants to charge up to. For this one, I'm going to set this to 100%. And then press enter, and now it's set to 100%. And once 13 is flashing again, that means that this setting is saved. So let's go back up to setting number 12 and check. Oh no! Setting number 12 did not save, so let's try this again. Press enter, enter, enter. Why isn't it not changing? Oh, I know. You have to turn off the inverter before you can change this setting. So let's turn it off. And now press enter. And now we're at 10% again. So press enter, enter, and it should be good. Oh, it's not changing. Why not? Well, that sucks. Oh, I changed it to 40. but why won't it change to 10? So after about 20 minutes of frustration in reading the manual, I found out that there's another setting that we need to change first. So under setting number 21, see this 20%? We're gonna set this to 5%. This is the low voltage DC cutoff. So we're gonna press enter, and then press enter after you have it selected. And now it should be good. So let's go back to setting 12 and then change that one. Oh, here we go. So let's try it again. Actually, let's try 19% just to see. So, yep, now it changed. So what I would recommend everybody do is set up setting 21 first and then set up 12 and 13. But yeah, it should actually work now. And right now the inverter shut off because this battery is at too low of a state of charge. So let's charge this battery up. And this is the EG4 48 volt battery charger, and it has a 95% efficiency. And obviously I could use the Growatt's charger, but I'm too lazy to find a cable. So I'm just gonna hook this up right now and get it to a high enough state of charge so we can turn this back on. So for the last hour, the battery charger was not fixing my problem. This inverter would not turn on. And I talked to Signature Solar and they said that the budget model has a different DIP setting for the master battery. And for the budget model, you want the DIP switches to be in an off, 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 off position. And then for the Pro model, it should be in an off, 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 and then on position. And then everything actually started working. It just turned on right now. Now that it's actually working, we're gonna add a load and we're gonna hit low voltage disconnect, but it's not gonna be voltage sensitive. It will turn off this inverter once it hits the state of charge that we programmed into the settings. So let's add a heat gun and see what happens. Now I added an extension cord, so let's plug it in. We're pulling 31 amps for this load. So we're gonna run this until it turns itself off, just to make sure that it actually works. And on the screen it shows a battery, and the bars on the battery show the state of charge. This 49% is just the inverter's output capacity. So right now we're pulling 1500 watts out of 3000, so it shows 50% practically. Something else to mention is if you have multiple inverters in parallel, for either a split phase output or a 3-phase output, you're gonna have to use an RS485 hub and then connect all the inverters to that hub and then connect it to the master battery, or this one right here. But keep in mind, the DIP switches have to be set properly, unless it will not work. But connecting multiple inverters to a single hub is very simple. Just Ethernet cables and plug and play. There's no settings that you have to change. But the DIP switches on the main battery is the hardest part. All the other batteries can be whatever you want, but the main battery switches have to be perfect, unless it won't work at all. So I'm gonna let the camera record this test and we'll come back when it shuts down. Oh, look at that. It shows a low voltage warning, even though it's a low state of charge warning now. So that's different. Wow, look at that. It's actually working. Oh, look at that. It worked. Wow. That's pretty neat. So let's plug in an AC cord and see if it starts charging up again. Now the AC input is connected to my AC300 inverter. It always takes a second, like a minute, for it to start charging. Oh, look at that, it's charging. Oh wow, there we go, it turned it back on too. So it has a bypass and it's charging the battery at the same time. So yeah, pretty simple setup right here. So we have, just one Ethernet cable. The hardest part is those DIP switches. As long as you get that, everything else works flawlessly. If I were to hook up solar panels right now, we would have a complete system. This is all you need for a solar system now. This thing has everything in it. With all of that said, personally, I will never use this communication system. I personally do not care. I hook up a shunt, I do a capacity test, and that's all I care about. I like to cycle my batteries to 0% and then all the way up to 100%, especially with this chemistry for solar at the charge and discharge rate that I use. I think that calendar aging will degrade these batteries before cycling ever will. And personally, I like to have more capacity. I don't want to cycle down to 20 or even 10%. I want to cycle to 0%. I want to use everything that I bought. But some people will disagree with me. But if you want your packs to last a very long time with their warranty to get that crazy 7,000 cycles, then go ahead and set this system up. But personally, I will never ever do this in a million years. I don't think it's worth the time. And personally, I don't want to mess with the settings. I like setting absorption, a low voltage cutoff, and that's it. Typically, I always look at my shunts if I want to see if something's working or not working. So in my systems, I just connect my 48 volt batteries in parallel, and then I turn them on, and that's it. But this is a very easy system to set up if you want these features. So I wanted to make a video to show people how easy it is. But again, I'm never gonna do this. I think it's neat. I'm glad that I got it to work, but yeah, I'm not gonna do this ever again. So anyways, I hope you guys liked the video, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.